Sen Takatsuki, the alias for Eto Yoshimura, the one-eyed owl in the Tokyo Ghoul series, a prestigious author in Japan, well known for her raw and dark literary works. In this video I'll be naming all the novels and collection of stories she wrote throughout the story, either mentioned by Kaneki himself or other characters in between. First we have Dear Kafka, or I.K. Kafka, written by Takatsuki-sensei when she was still a teenager, at 14 years old. Her first debut novel and also bestseller, catapulting her career. Kaneki mentions this as one of his favorites. Dropbox, her second work, a story about a girl longing for a father figure in her life, and surprisingly Reese's favorite book. Industrial, described in the story as a trick behind closed doors. Monochrome Rainbow, a collection of short stories, the same book Kaneki used to teach kanji to Inami the first time they meet. Some of the short stories are summer diaries, resentments, and showers at sunset. Her seventh work, and perhaps her most famous, The Black Coat's Egg, the very first book of hers we're introduced to in the series, the book that unites Kaneki and Rize's paths together and sets in motion the plot. A great parallel for the events that transpire later on in the story. A son, the protagonist, disgusted by his mother's violent acts as a serial killer, as he slowly realizes that he may share the same impulses. Kaneki describes the book as a combination of brutal and raw descriptions with a delicate portrayal of the main character's mental state. A character Ken relates to quite a bit before he digs up the true nature of his relationship with his own mother. The Hangman's Macguffin, her following book, another collection of short stories around individuals sentenced to prison, signed by Eto herself in a book signing for Inami next to Kaneki. Salt and Opium, a spin-off of The Hangman's Macguffin, told in the perspective of the detective. Finally, her last novel and 10th work before she reveals herself as the owl to the world, King Bileygr, a story about a half-ghoul meant to save the world from a corrupt organization, in the context of the actual events of the story, none other than V, a direct message to oppressed ghouls and Kaneki himself, at this time known as CCG's Black Reaper, before his confrontation with Arima and the occupation of his new role as the One-Eye King.